the first day Sonderkommando, I see about 25 or 3,000 people coming in, putting their undress, going there. And the only one thing I remember that always the SS were saying is, take your shoes and zusammen machen, put them together as a pair and take it in your hand and walk in through the corridor, before going into the gas chamber, you have to leave it. Somebody was taking them. My first observations of that is that I saw 25 to 3,000 people going on the gas chamber, and they closed the doors, and then I knew that the SS threw the Cyclone B, from above 3-4 openings, and when it takes about 4 or 5 minutes to die, except the people that are in front where the gas is coming, then it takes about a couple of minutes. And after that, when after 15, 20 minutes they open up the thing, the first thing I saw the people I saw 15 minutes before alive. I saw the mothers with the children standing up because the gas chamber will take maybe 500 people. It used to make 2,500 people. Everybody standing up. There was no room for anything else but standing up. And when you see that, after it's some of them are black and blues from the gas, it's something that I said to myself, how can somebody be able to survive in such an environment? Well, the first thing they did, they gave us a pair of scissors to start cutting the hair. Well, where do you go? You start the 1, 2, then I have to put my foot on top of somebody's stomach. And from the gas, I heard big. So I jump up 100 meters away, and I said to myself, how can I do it? There was a Polish guy there, and I said, where is God? And says, God, this is what God goes. You have to be very strong to survive. And I said to myself, the only thing I can do, that's why I don't remember a lot of things. I said to myself, I am a robot, and I did just this to my mind. And I said, from now on, close your eyes and do whatever is to be done without asking too much.
Open the doors of the gas chamber. Whose job was it to take the bodies out?
Well, they gave us some canes. You reverse the cane and you put it in there, and you drag them out, because when the gas, they get very, very tight, and it takes a lot of force to be able to drag the bodies from the gas chambers, to put it in the elevator going on the second floor, and then, in stretchers and in the ovens. There were enough people there to do it.
How many people would you say were working in each crematorium?
We were about 100, I think, in ours.
How many?
There were 1,200 people all together in the Sonderkommando, with the bunkers, we're here, we're there. And, we were 100 in mine, 150, So it takes 4,600, and the others were around for other things. So we had enough personnel. But, we were working shifts also. You needed more people. January 15, when the Russians were coming, on January 18, the Birkenau, Auschwitz and Birkenau, the Birkenau actually was evacuated. And we were on that block 13, and the Germans were mixed up. They didn't know what they were doing. So we came out of that block 13, and we got together with all the camp, the thousands of people, and start marching. They put us to march from Birkenau to Auschwitz.
So opened up. When the doors were opened up, it's like a pile fell out to our opening because they're all piled towards the door, climbing on each other. Very filthy, dirty people, what they had to do, they did, bloody. And then a certain amount of people from our commando were taking them out one by one and putting them next to an elevator, going up one floor. And on top of the elevator, there was another commando taking them off the elevator and laying them out on the floor on the side of the ovens, 4 or 5, the whole length, in both sides where the ovens were. And one man on either side went out with a pair of pliers. Used to call them the dentists. And they were pulling out the gold teeth. This was going down day and night on a 12-hour base shifts. The people who worked in those crematoriums, it's 12 hours. And then the ovens had to be cooled, didn't even have a chance to cool off. The ashes were taken out outside with wheelbarrows, steel wheelbarrows. And there was another commando having in their hands stempers. It's a still metal plate with a wooden stake, and stamping the ashes and sifting them to a screen. Then another commander was loading them on trucks, on wagons, and they pulled them towards the river. They dumped us in the river. When we came...
advanced across Europe,
The British and Canadians, advancing from the west, liberated Bergen-Belsen and camps in northern Germany. The Americans, our focus here, liberated Dachau, Buchenwald, and other camps.
As their armies advanced across Europe, the Allies found thousands of people imprisoned in camps. They encountered piles of corpses and thousands of skeletal prisoners on the verge of death from malnutrition and disease. This was their first encounter with the horror of what would come to be known as the Holocaust. They began to understand that the Nazis had committed atrocities against civilians, the vast majority of them Jews, on an unimaginable scale, and that these atrocities were very different from the deaths caused by conventional warfare. A new category of crime had to be recognized to describe the intentional attempt to destroy a people. This crime came to be known as genocide.
Who were the people that these soldiers found? They were the victims of Nazi ideology and hatred. The Jews among them had managed to survive the Holocaust, whose goal was total annihilation. Other prisoners, including Roma, homosexuals, and communists, had managed to survive persecution and murder. For many, liberation came too late. Hundreds continued to die every day of starvation, exhaustion, and disease. But for others, the soldiers were larger than life. They represented the moment of salvation that many survivors had despaired they might not live to see.